beautiful Aquarius gang. Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. That's me. I'm going to read your tarot cards. As always, guys, here on YouTube, I do general messages, so that means that not everything I say will resonate with every single Aquarian out there every single week. Please know that in advance. Come into it with an open heart, an open mind, realistic expectations. I hope lots of this motivates you, empowers you, inspires you. But if it doesn't, do have faith it's going out to someone else who needs to hear it, so release what does not serve you. Okay? Those are my rules. You are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions, all right? Let's tap into that Aquarian energy. Let's get them some helpful messages here. All right, Aquarius. Ooh, the world coming in. I always think this is the Wheel of Fortune, but they are, in a sense, sort of related, right? The idea of cycles, graduations, blessings, ushering in positive changes, changes for the good, changes for the better. Releasing the need to control time is sort of an important message here. All right, so where are you heading? What is coming in the future? You're going to get to rest. You're going to get to take a much needed break. Your mind will be at ease. There's a sense of accomplishment. Hearing the word dignity. So maybe if you're in the process of working through some sort of difficult obstacle, Saturn energy, at the end of it, you're going to be able to rest easy. You're in the long run. You will be grateful you went through this situation, even if it wasn't super pleasant, because I'm hearing the word impact. There's knowledge on the other side of this dilemma or this issue, and it doesn't even have to be a bad issue. It's just something that's potentially very transformational, or I would even say life-changing. It's almost like being rebirthed into the world, like through the birth canal. So yeah, there's a huge amount of confidence to be gained from this situation, even if at times it's a little bit sticky, it's a little bit uncomfortable. So where are you coming from? What's sort of the foundation of this whole trajectory, this narrative? What is the past? The past is the Two of Pentacles. All right. So I think this is about making a decision and sticking to it and see what prevails, see what comes out of it, because I'm getting the sense that you were at a point where you had to make a decision and maybe you didn't feel like you were informed enough to do it or whatever. Again, this is very likely your past, but you went forward with it anyway, and so I'm almost being called to say nothing to lose. You made a decision, and that's awesome, and you don't need to validate or justify it even if you feel it was incorrect or wrong, but I'm almost getting you do need to see this through to some sense of completion, where at least you can walk away knowing you gave your all, or let's not put a black cloud on it, walk away being like I accomplished that, like how amazing. You're working your way through something that is testing you. With the Saturn, there are karmic tests and lessons, but at the end, I'm being told you're going to be able to rest easy. Your head, your mind will be quieted, almost meditative. There's huge importance placed here on the knowledge and the impact you will gain from a very important experience in your life. For some of you, it may have to do with uprooting yourself, travel, being thrown into a foreign land, a foreign environment, a foreign group of people. And it doesn't literally have to be foreign country. It might be for some of you, but just an unknown environment. I would even offer you may thrive there in ways that you're not anticipating or expecting. You're going to sleep cozy at night. I love that. So with this, there's such a look of determination on her face, but also a sense of almost needing to build her confidence and be your own cheerleader. I can do this. I got this. This is about facing your fears. I wouldn't always say that with the Two of Pentacles, but in this card specifically, there's something about I'm driving through the rainstorm. I'm going to get wet. I'm going to anticipate it, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to make it to safety, right? You will. You absolutely will. Huge things are being accomplished here. So let's clarify the world, please. The Knight of Wands, yeah. Your curiosity will serve you. And I even want to say your buoyancy, your optimism, your positive attitude will help you through. I feel like sometimes that's I said this to Libra, they had all these fun Sagittarian, like buoyancy, optimistic cards, and it's like, why am I doing a whole tarot reading? It's like Libra's message is like, hey, have some fun. That's your message this week, right? And in a similar sense, you have very optimistic cards. It says, despite the struggles, your ability to see the adventure in this journey, in this project, in this idea. Again, Sagittarian, the philosophy, your mindset, how you choose to view this obstacle will make or break your experience. You have no reason not to be positive and curious about this. Curiosity leads to lessons. It leads to newfound knowledge. It leads to empowerments. It can transform your life in ways that I'm sure you can't even imagine right now. Yeah, the Knight of Wands is always taking steps forward. He really doesn't let fear stop him. He knows that he'll make the best of this situation. He or she. I really should be saying she because it's a female on this deck, but obviously it goes out to any gender. But how refreshing that sometimes we make the knights women, right? I like that. And not on a horse either. I feel like I could even read into that maybe there's something about staying put in this environment and working through the obstacles, not running from your problems. In a lower vibration, the Knight of Wands, the minute it gets boring or dull, he tends to dip, right? If it's not fun, he's not really in it. Maybe this is about a merging of the two. It can still be fun, but it is going to take some dedication, some commitment, some devotion. The wheels are going to start to turn, but you have to remember it's slow. It's Saturn. I don't want to scare you guys with this message. And again, this doesn't need to be a scary message, but the idea of Saturn, its orbit is rather slow, right? So as much as the Knight of Wands wants change and action, for some of you, this could be an endeavor where it's like you have to commit yourself to a solid 2 years, 2.5 years, 4 years, whatever it is. I'm getting 2 here, especially with the 2 of Pentacles. And some of you flat out know this. Some of you may have just started a course load and you're like, well, I'm going back to school for the next 2 years. That's what I mean. Like, it doesn't mean it won't be fun, but I think you're being asked to understand the weight, the significance, the importance of your commitment to this. It's not always going to be fun, but therein lies the balance. Responsibility, work, fun, enjoyment, pleasure. It's both. It's not one or the other. And it doesn't have to be lived in extreme ways. I really think there's a message here about internal balance. That's where you're headed. Maybe you are learning to multitask. Maybe you're learning to organize in a more disciplined way. And maybe what you're learning to organize and discipline is the areas of your life that are kind of fun and untethered. I don't know what to make of that, but it's not necessarily a heavy message. I want you guys to be creative in how you choose to view this, because it's not a buzzkill of a message at all. Again, it's what you make of it. So what is, I almost called you Sagittarius. That's hilarious. You definitely have some Sag energy coming through here. So there may be a collaboration with a Sag in some way for some of you guys. Yeah, for a lot of you, this may have to do with education, teaching, professors, mentors, coaches, leaders, acquiring knowledge, gaining new knowledge, possibly being in a more role of student, trainee, employee, intern, however you want to say it. What is a hindrance in Aquarius's path right now? What is something they need to either distance themselves from, release, let go of? What is not helping them in the current situation that they need to be made aware of? The Fool. Expecting everything to be fun. The Fool is a great card. It's a wonderful energy. There's something very childlike and joyous, and hope springs eternal, right? Same with the Knight of Wands. These cards are very similar. It's not saying don't. It's not saying stop. It's saying utilize it to the best of your ability, but utilize it in a way that is practical. Again, that Saturn energy that actually serves you. Almost the idea of, this is a good metaphor. I'm literally seeing darts being thrown in like a bar. This idea, I'm just going to throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. You can do that. It's not a bad approach per se, but if you've been doing that, and whatever this metaphor is, and it's not sticking, maybe there needs to be a little bit more precision. Maybe there needs to be a little bit more focus on what we're throwing, or, in this silly metaphor, how we're throwing, why we're throwing, at what speed, at what velocity. It's like you need to ask the deeper questions. It's not about denying yourself your passion and your path forward, but I think it's asking yourself why and how. Is it worth it? And what is your goal here? What are you trying to accomplish? What is this, in metaphor, the world can be a card of graduation. What are you trying to graduate in? What are you trying to produce? What are you trying to excel in? I think you're going to get there. I think you're going to rest easy eventually, but maybe this doesn't come until much later. Maybe now it's time to roll up your sleeves and get your hands dirty. Leapfrogging is not helping you. Getting bored. Some of you may really feel stifled in a certain environment. So it's not about just upping and leaving that environment. It's making it more user-friendly. Maybe if your routine is very dull and monotonous, well, start your day off with a walk. Go to bed at a different time. It's working within the limits and the foundation, the boundaries that essentially are set in this situation, and finding the avenues of fun. I don't think this is about taking a leap off in another direction. I just don't. you can certainly do that, but if what's hindering you is the Fool, it's like something needs to be pinned down. We can't be living in Never Never Land. Peter Pan complex. I always want to be a little boy and have fun. That's Peter Pan, right? I think now with Saturn coming in, it's like, you can still be fun, but you're not a child anymore. You're, in a night, almost like teenager. You're a student. You've grown. You've matured. And with that, no matter what your age, there's different responsibilities now that are more important to you. And the thing is, I think you know that. I think that maybe for a while there was a part of you that wanted to deny that or resist it or move away from it. And now again, there's this need to stay, to sort of plant yourself in the ground a little bit more and work through problems. I never mean to offend, but I do kind of keep getting the message, where were you running from your problems because you weren't at a place where you were ready to dive in and solve them. It was easier to just put them on the back burner, but eventually those back burner problems add up. And so I think for some of you, this isn't a tower moment, but this is like a Saturn is coming down on you and putting that extra pressure of responsibility to work through the problem. You can't run from it anymore. So that's all. I'm not here to beat you up, and that's the thing, you're going to be so glad when you did. There will be peace of mind when you face that scary monster, that thing you've been putting off, whatever it is. When you do it, you're going to be like, oh, why didn't I do this months ago? I feel amazing. And again, maybe it's going to take some time. This might not be a solution that comes to you overnight. I would be willing to bet it's not. I think this is something you're going to work through, but there is beauty and pride and joy and expertise, knowledge to be gained in that process of finding a solution that works for you. Maybe there is no one right answer. There probably isn't, right? This is a general message. Whatever conclusion you come to at the end of this important chapter, it's going to feel amazing. You're going to be so glad you did it. It's going to actually provide you with more opportunities to take leaps of faith, but right now you have to hunker down and solve this one to usher in that new cycle of joy, of buoyancy. No one is saying you can't have fun, but you might need to be creative in how you make the situation fun. You can't run from it anymore. All right, so what is the help available to Aquarius? What is the help that is readily available to them or within their surroundings, but maybe they've overlooked or have not been putting enough time in? The help available to Aquarius, please, in this situation. What is the help available to Aquarius? Don't run from your problems. The Seven of Swords. Tackle it head on. Move in. Take the plunge. And look at it as an adventure. Face your fears, facing the unknown. A lot of sword energy. Seven of Swords has a lot to do with second guessing yourself or hoping you're not going to get caught. It's almost like the idea of letting something kind of spin out of control because you didn't want to face it, you didn't want to deal with it, but you're always living in this state of, oh, I hope I don't get caught. I'm not saying you're doing anything illegal. I'm using that more in a sense of a metaphor, but you're not living a life of peace if you're constantly waiting for the attack from something that you threw together last minute, something that was very sloppy. Maybe you were able to coast by on that thing for a while, but it's impacting your ability to, I'm hearing the word like breathe, oxygen to the brain, to have this satisfied sense of yourself and what you do, have pride in your work and your relationships. There's something that was always sort of eating away at you, and now you're facing it head on. It's like you're putting a stop to unhealthy habits or unhealthy behaviors, especially mentally. Something you carry around in your head and you look back on and maybe wish you had approached it differently or handled it differently. You didn't lose that opportunity. In fact, I know I was getting, you have no choice but to face this because now Saturn's coming down as the point of authority. This could be your boss, right? You may have been coasting by doing something at work. And I'm not saying you guys have a bad work ethic. I'm not saying that at all. There's just some matter that, you were able to coast by. You were sort of clandestine, kind of, sneaking it in or doing something that it was off the radar. And now the radar is like honing in on you and you're the only thing on the radar. So you're like, oh, I guess it's like you're being told you can't do that anymore. You have to change it. It's possible it involves the law, but it doesn't necessarily have to do that for all of you. But again, this is an adventure. This is totally what you make of it. So you can look at this as a burden. You can look at this as a prison sentence, but it's really not. It's a wonderful experience that's going to teach you a lot on the other end if you choose to view it like that. So Cool. I like this. This definitely seems to swing more career-esque, but it doesn't mean it couldn't be your love life. But for that reason, I'm going to give you one quick reading on love, just because I like to read for love, because it's fun. What deck? What deck do we do? Nah. This one. All right, let's do this one. Tell me about Aquarius's love life, please. Is there a message I can share with them for the coming weeks? Aquarius and love. Aquarius and love. Hey, the world. You have the world twice. I'm hearing that song, Sailin'. Who sings that? Is it Bobby Darin? Somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me. My lover stands on golden sands and watches the ships that go sailing. I can't sing that. It's very low. Look at you. Yeah, some of you may be doing travel across large bodies of water to mingle with people, to find your soul tribe, to find your soul person. Some of you, actually, you may be joining worlds. There may be a wedding in the works for some of you, or you may be attending a wedding where there's potential to meet someone if you are single and looking. There's a graduation. If you've recently graduated from some sort of coursework, or even if you're currently at a job but you had to undertake more courses to hone in on your skills, something about that classroom environment or people you graduated with, there's a chance for connection there, or something in like students. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe some of you are teachers. I don't know. Hopefully it's not student teacher, but I'm not going to comment on that. But anyway, something about education is coming through. And again, weddings. Damn, this looks fantastic. The World, the Four of Wands, and the Ten of Cups. Some of you are going to be starting a family. Throw your hat in the ring. Some of you may be pursuing adoption of anything. Actually, as I said adoption, I was thinking children, and I looked down and immediately I saw cats. So some of you may just be adopting a pet. That's cute. I assume with your sweetheart then, or something to do with your love life. That's so funny. Someone may heal animals as a profession, or do like Reiki on animals, or something about energetic work with animals, or just have a very in tune, I'm hearing, a connection with animals, almost like a psychic, intuitive sense with animals. Some of you may have just gotten out of a long-term commitment, like a marriage, or I'm hearing the word divorce. So, and the thing is, there's such an ease about it. So if it is something you're fearing, if you truly know that this relationship is holding you back and it's not enjoyable, when you release it, you welcome in this amazing energy. Your soul tribe comes to your aid, to your need. And the thing is, there's not a lot of heavy-heartedness here. It seems like you're willing to let it go and take a risk, take a gamble. For others of you, if you've been more hermit mode, it's almost like the idea of tossing your hat in the ring, giving it a chance, taking a risk on something, a gamble. I don't know, putting yourself on dating apps or asking that person out. There's fantastic results there. Four of Wands and then the Ten of Cups. That's like family cards. That's like weddings, milestones in relationships. Yeah, get out of the comfort zone. Stop punishing yourself for past mistakes. That's something that came up here too. Something that you feel guilty or remorseful of. You have every ability to go and fix it as best you can, or as best you want to. Some of you, it's just understanding you need freedom. You need to thrive. You need to grow. And it's like you've been hiding yourself away for some reason. And again, this is like liberation, baby. I'm coming out. Some of you may be coming out with like your sexuality or something of the sort. Yeah, you've been sitting and holding on something for a long time, and the longer you wait, the more burdensome it is. For some of you, it's just asking that person out that your heart is holding on to them, but I think, maybe it's just a confidence thing. You're scared to ask them out. This message came out in Gemini's reading too. It's like, you so desperately want to get to know someone, but there's always someone around. Like, they're never alone. They walk in the room with their wolf pack, and there's never that moment alone where you can get to talk to them or ask them out. That feels huge here. It's like you're trying to work up the confidence to do it. Just do it. You're going to feel so much better when you do. And I stand by that too. Even if I don't get this vibe because you have wonderful cards, but even if you ask this person out and it takes this huge leap of faith, and you've been thinking about this person for 2 years, and you finally ask them out in line or social media or in person, whatever, even if they reject you, the weight will be lifted because now you know, now you have the answer. Like, again, this is all a matter of how you look at it, Aquarius. Yeah, there's something about an important wedding here. I don't know if it's yours, and it doesn't even have to be. There's some connection made at a wedding, especially if you are a photographer at a wedding. Interesting. All right, Aquarius, that's what I got for you this week. I'm keeping them short and sweet at the end here. If you made it this far, please remember to like the video, guys. That really does help me trying to grow my channel, trying so damn hard to grow this channel. So please like the video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you next Thursday for more tarot. Bye, Aquarius.